Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to 2023, my friends. Thanks for joining us for this live stream. I am Rachel Archelaus, founder of the Intuitive Art Academy, and this is Carrie Roldan, your business BFF. And we're going to talk about what 2023 has in store for you, what the theme of the energy is that I'm feeling anyway, if you have intentions for this year. So I'm kind of doing this as like a reading of the energy of the year. I did an intuitive art drawing as well. And I think it's going to be fun. I love this time of year. I love sinking into the new energy that we have coming at us and how we can best utilize that. Because there are definitely ways that we can resist what is naturally going to happen for us just to cause a lot more strife. But if we can go with the energy, if we can leverage it and have it be a part of our path of most allowing, it's going to be really, really, really awesome. So that's what we're going to talk about. We'd love to know what's up for you in the comments, where you're from, if you're here. So, hey, Carrie. Hi.
Hi, Rachel. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It is interesting for me. I think I talked about this on the last time, the live stream. Like everyone keeps starting calls with me saying Happy New Year. And I'm aware that the new year has started. And I'm super interested to talk about the energies for this year. And because my 2023 already feels a lot different than my 2022. And not in the way that I often approach like New Year's with wide-eyed optimism and enthusiasm and this is going to be the best year ever. This is much more just a noticing. But the reason I'm saying all of that is every time people say Happy New Year to me, I'm kind of surprised because my kids haven't gone back to school yet. And so like I'm still a little bit in the the New Year doesn't really start until my kids go back to school. So I'm sitting on my couch with my blankie, but I'm still in the yeah, it is going to be amazing, but I'm not really starting it yet, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. I always feel like my year starts on like right after Christmas. Like the day after Christmas, I'm feeling the new year. I call it void week because like no one's really working, or at least I'm not. And it just feels like there is no time. Like the year's definitely over, but it really hasn't started yet. I feel like there's just total expansion. Even though
Well,
I don't really do anything special. I just kind of lay around, but it's fantastic.
I think that's this week for me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like what happened for me was like school and my normal routine and the schedule of life went straight up until like December 23rd. So I feel like I'm having that void week right now. And it's amazing. And I think that it's a really important week, whether it's an important time because things settle down, right? And then there's it's like even if you're not meditating all week, that week feels like meditating. It feels like making space. And yeah, so that's what's happening. And now I see everybody, lots of people are here and waving and saying hello. And yeah, you have a nicer way of saying it. I called it the taint week. So the void week is much nicer.
Yeah, yeah, you're funny. All right. Well, hello everyone. Hi Jana. Hi Jana Maria. Hi Corinne. Hi Guillaume. Thanks for being here. Why don't we just get into it? So, what do I feel like this year is going to be all about? I feel like it's about being more than ever. Obviously, being has been very important to us as human beings, as energetic beings. But what I mean by that is I'm feeling like synchronicity is our calendar. Of course, we're still going to have things on our calendar. I myself have a monthly group that meets on certain days. Um, I have birthdays. We're going to plan a vacation. But what I mean is, you're not you're not deciding who you're going to be in 3 months or in 6 months or at the end of the year. You're letting yourself be present with who you are. You're getting to know yourself in the present moment and letting that determine your next move. So I feel like we all know we only have power in this moment. We know that. We know that we only exist in this moment. And so why not invest the effort into being in the moment and utilizing that energy, that power, that technology that we have as energetic beings? Because what that does, and it kind of says that in here. I mean, we'll get into the drawing, but if you just take a look at what it looks like, it kind of looks like this beautiful moon behind a fog here, and it's coming out of the fog. So any kind of confusion, any kind of misalignment, any kind of like, what did I even write here? Judgments, oof, big one, that you have about yourself when you're in the moment with you, that stuff dissolves and you get to be you. You get to be you without those other things that are just hanging on. And because then you are only you, your vibration is clear and you're a natural magnet for all the things that you've been asking for. So this is so huge. I've heard a lot of people say that this year is going to be about prosperity and manifestation and having what you want and ease. And that's true, but it's only true if we can be present with ourselves so that all that other stuff that we've been hauling along with us can go away. So that's what I mean about you can fight it. You can fight for your resistance. You can fight for your judgments. You can fight for your confusion, or you can relax, be in the moment, and allow things to work out for you.
I was writing that quickly as you were talking. I love synchronicity is your calendar. That just even that is like freeing and relaxing. But let's talk about that. Not about synchronicity being your calendar. Let's talk about what you just said. I wrote something that doesn't make sense. Hold on. You're only you. Oh, only. I can't read it. You said when you're only you. That's what was missing. When you're only you, your vibration is clear, and what you want is magnetized to you. Like when you said that, it felt like someone like if I were a toilet, flushed me. Like it just that feels so settling. It feels so reassuring. It feels so relaxing. And so I am, bless you, Rachel. So, we've talked about this before, but like my sort of psychic gifts lie in clairsentience. Like I just get knowings. I just know things that I don't know why I know them. And that that like brought me such a deep sense of knowing the truth of what we're wanting, of what we're asking for. Like, so thank you for phrasing it that way, even if it was just for me. And it actually brings me to my word for the year. I don't know if you're going there yet. I want to get into like more of your drawing, but I was reading what Gina Maria was saying. 2023 for her is exploration, expansion, and fun. People have like words that they put on their year. And my word this year is, I think I shared this with you guys already, but my word this year is certainty. And that is what I felt when you said that like relief and certainty. So thanks.
You're welcome. You're a little laggy today. I can hear you well, but just the picture gets stuck a little bit, just so you know.
I'll close some things. I'll mute while you talk and close things.
Yeah, I'll just highlight Corinne's comment here because she's thanking us. I want to thank you both for the advice and insight you gave me last live stream about getting my car serviced. The mindset that this task can feed my soul has been very helpful. You're very, very welcome. Yeah, absolutely. We're glad that that was really helpful. And we talked about Gina Maria's words, and Jana just posted hers, and it's simplicity. Yes, I really, really feel that. I feel that both of what you're saying. In fact, what I wrote down here underneath is clarity, ease, and fun. Clarity, ease, and fun. And where I think that comes in is, let's like take an example of how I've been feeling. Just be be like, okay, what do I want to do now? Okay, what do I want to do now? Okay, what do I want to do now? Like, that's really simple. You can't get more simple than that. And it leaves you more opportunity to choose fun. How often are you going to choose fun if you're stressed out and trying to like plan the rest of your week? Fun is the last thing you're going to plan into your week, usually, not for everybody, right? And if you're trying to accomplish a goal, let's say you're like goal oriented, and then you're trying to plan back, your brain isn't going to plan for fun, right? Even though we know energetically fun's going to get you there much quicker than what you think has to go in the path of getting your goal. So I feel like it's really a reversal of how we're taught to achieve things, but it's also much more effective in actually living the life that we want to live, which of course includes prosperity. It includes achievements. It includes all kinds of things that, you know, we would typically like work really hard for. But it's also giving us space for friendship and laughter and fun and love and creativity. So trusting is really important in this, right? We have to trust that our higher self has our back, that it's going to steer us in the direction of picking up all those things that we want, right? We got to pick up our paycheck. We got to pick up our friend. We got to pick up all the things that are important to us. Actually, my personal drawing, that was really highlighted. It was important to me. Do what's important to me, right? How much time do you spend on the things that are really important to you? Do you know what's important to you? That's what we're heading into. We're heading into, you have plenty of time, more than enough time to do what's important to you. And that's just fantastic. So we're leaning into multidimensional living, multidimensional results. Things get done easier, quicker, faster, and more fun when you are in the present moment, guiding yourself from your higher self, then planning everything out, seeing, you know, how much can I fit into my week and get done. Everything's still going to get done, but it's going to get done in a lot more fun and easy way.
Okay, that was so clarifying. And because when we were talking, and Jana wrote the word simplicity, and I know Jana, and I know that she is multi-passionate and creative. And there is this potential for someone like that to say, I'm going simple this year. I'm not doing my 400 different projects. I'm not doing, right? Like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to simplify, which means I'm just going to like cut back on all the things that I love. And so I like this take on simplicity that isn't about doing, you know, less things or less crazy creative things, or Jana has like a million dogs. Like, it's it's not simplifying by just like decluttering your life of all the stuff that makes it amazing. It's simplifying your approach. What's really important to me? What do I want to do right now? Doesn't that feel, for me at least, that feels expansive? Simplicity feels expansive. Simplifying that approach feels like you're saying, you have more than enough time to do all the things you want to do when you're not trying to like manage. I think I'm heading down a wrong path, so I'm going to stop. But I have a big issue with the words time management. So, um,
I know. And you know why? It's because we are the creators of our time. Time isn't real. So what do we need time management for? Right? If we're aligned, everything is managing itself. And that again, like you have to know yourself enough to trust that that will work for you. This is all about faith in yourself, trust in yourself. And if you do intuitive art and you're used to following your own guidance, it will be easier for you. If you're totally new to this concept of living intuitively, that's going to feel a little bit harder. But you'll have to prove to yourself that it's better, right? No one can do that for you. I think the best way to do that is look back on your life and see where you have taken an intuitive path, made that intuitive decision, followed your intuition, and how did that work out for you? Probably way better than you could have imagined, right? You got so much more out of it than the reason you thought you were doing it. So, I mean, that's, I think the first time I really heard about the law of attraction, I don't remember when it was because I've been listening to Abraham since I was in my 20s, and that was 20 years ago. So I just remember doing that, like thinking like, okay, this sounds a little weird. It feels right to me because I had my own sense of inner truth. But then I looked back on my life and I was like, hang on a minute. How come this never happened? Or how come this always happened? Or how come, it's just like, whoa, like there is something so consistent about my life. And that makes sense because I've had a consistent mindset or a consistent vibration about things. Like we are the creators, but only you can prove that to yourself. So it's really worthwhile to just investigate that if you're on the fence about trusting your intuition. So I think you guys come to the light side, come join us because it's really awesome. And when you do trust yourself, you can have incredible, amazing adventures and not worry about the survival aspect of life. Like, there's been some truly amazing personal things that have happened for me in the last few weeks. Carrie knows about a couple of them. I don't really feel comfortable sharing, but it just makes sense. As I have increased my abundance mindset, my overall vibration, practice radical acceptance of who I am, which has led to so many discoveries that you guys do know about. The outer world has risen to meet me because I create it. And I'm getting all the things that I've been focusing on from all kinds of incredible directions. When you focus on you and do what we'll talk about in this drawing, you don't have to manage everything because you're already doing that with your vibration. The world rises up to meet you. It's really cool. It never gets old.
There's so many things going through my mind right now, but I feel the need to talk about a conversation I had with my son this morning in the car. Because you were like, trust yourself, come to the light side. Like, and we just had an interesting conversation. He just spent some time with parts of our family who live a very different reality than we do. And we love these people, right? We love these people. And my son is 16. So when he was a little boy, right, like, he would go hang out with that side of the family or all those cousins and like, didn't see any differences. But as he's gotten older, Like he is still aware. I love these people and I don't want to live in their reality. And as an outsider looking in, he's like, if they could just think differently, if they could just, right? Like it's for him, it's like, can't they see? Can't they see? And as you were talking about trust yourself and like come to the light side, I was thinking about that conversation because the conversation that followed was like about, in every family, like if the reason our family is where we are is because one or more of his parents was willing to be a cycle breaker, right? And I was telling him, like, I think the most important thing that you can do in your lifetime is grow and develop yourself and get to know yourself and understand yourself and love yourself and believe in yourself and like all of those things. And it opened up the door for that conversation. But I am also acutely aware of how hard it can be for us as human beings to take the leap of faith to believe. I say, believe what you believe in yourself, believe in what you already know. And I just want to say, like, it's 1000% worth the ride. It was so cool talking to my son about it and just being able, like, him having this moment of recognition. Actually started with my daughter last night. She's like, I'm really grateful for you, Mom. But either way, like, I just think that's so cool. And I want to say that because as we're entering a new year, it's always an opportunity for us as human beings to like cross a new threshold. And if that threshold is, for me, it's certainty. It's believing what I believe. It's so every intuitive art drawing I have done for the past however many years I've been doing it, asking about how do I get to the thing that I want, it is full of the color black, which for me, that color black is certainty. And yet I've not ever in this process committed to that feeling. How crazy is that, right? But it was like, and so for me, that radical self-acceptance that you talked about this year is about that. But I find it fascinating that self-acceptance is radical, right? Like that we as human beings make being hard. And so I just wanted to share that. Like, I think we talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And Rachel and I commit to it. And we're still peeling back layers. And I know you guys are too.
Yeah. So let's talk about the drawing. Okay. Here we are. We've got this beautiful moon coming out from behind the cloud. And I'm going to start and read it from left to right. So this part here is grounding. And that's how we're going to access our moment. So a lot of this probably used to be a lot more popular than it is now, but a lot of intuitive people didn't want to ground because they thought they would lose their connection. They wanted to be up there and airy-fairy and riding around in the clouds. But we actually will feel much more of an integrated wisdom if we're grounded. We'll also be less susceptible to the opinions of others if we're grounded. And it makes a huge difference if you actually intentionally ground every morning. So how are you going to find yourself? How are you going to embody your higher dimensional energy if you don't ground it into where we think we are right now, right? In these cute little bodies we have. So, and then anchoring ourselves into the earth, which is what we're choosing to do by living here. So I would go through the motions every morning, just take a 30 seconds to intend to ground. You can use grounding cords if you'd like. You can do it whatever way you want. You can grow roots, whatever helps you. I think it will be definitely worthwhile. So we're grounding, right? That's giving us access to this cool big moon shape here, which is filled with alignment colors. So alignment in a winding way, right? So once we're grounded, here we have access to this beautiful, all over the place winding path of alignment. That's how it's going to feel. This year, like I said, synchronicity is your calendar. It is not going to feel linear. It's going to feel like I'm going here and I'm going here and I'm going here and I'm going here. And if you can go with that, take a beautiful winding road through your life, you will end up where you want to be, because you're going to pick up all kinds of fun things along the way. And what's more fun than that, right? Surprise, delight. We all want that. The biggest hurdle that we're going to have is this muddy color right here, which is all about radical acceptance. You loving yourself the way you are, no matter what. No more judgments, no more I need to be a certain way. I'm not good enough. No more comparison, right? You honoring you. And it sounds really simple, but we've grown up in a lifetime of external validation, external, like, I need to be like them. That's how I'm okay. So after you ground and you get on your path of alignment, your life is probably going to start looking a lot different from the people around you. And that can be difficult, and that can bring up a lot of things, a lot of judgments you have about yourself, a lot of fears. So that's where this radical acceptance is going to be imperative, because if you don't love yourself, no one else will. No one else can. And so I would dedicate time every day to radical acceptance. I think Tara Brach has a book called Radical Acceptance, which I have not read, but I heard is amazing. I would just recommend, well, I like to meditate. So in my meditations, I'm focused on that for a small part of it. Usually it's just my breath. So I'm like zoning out meditation. But then I'll introduce something at the very end, where I love myself, like a mantra like that. I am love. I love myself. That's radical acceptance, loving yourself as you are. Or if there are things that are coming up for you specifically, journal about them, right? You can, I don't know, visualize things, whatever you want to do. But I would definitely focus on loving yourself exactly as you are, because you're going to get triggered this year a lot by living your own life, as silly as that is. But we got to drop the baggage, drop it off at the station. Don't look back, leave it there. It's not yours. Give it back, keep on going. And finally, if we can do that, if we can ground, if we can live our own life, live our winding path, radically accept who we are, we find this deep alignment, deep satisfaction, deep belonging, deep love. And you see how structured that is? So we have a winding path, which can feel very, I think, upsetting to some people, which I get. It's fun, but it's not like you're doing the same thing every day. But this very structured, deep alignment is going to feel nourishing and so incredible. And that's your frontier. That's where you're going. That's what's available to you. That's what the energy is allowing us to get to. It's not like we're ever going to stop living our winding path, but once we know ourselves more and allow more energetic structure into our lives, we will feel much more, I think safe is a good word. We'll feel safer. It won't feel so haphazard. And even though winding country roads are beautiful and fun, I think a lot of us do crave also a bit of safety and structure. So that's what this drawing is. My exact wording for the prompt is 2023. What does it have in store for us? So if you want to do your own version of this drawing, go ahead. But yeah, does that bring anything up for you guys? Do you have any questions about it?
So Gina Maria has been like commenting as you go with the drawing. I think for me, what was coming up wasn't what was in the drawing itself. That was like, it was the advice you were giving about each of the things, like be deliberate, do this every day, make a commitment to that. And that was actually quite helpful to me. Like, oh, because I do things that ground me, but I don't have like an intentional moment every day where I'm like, and right now I'm grounding. And I feel like that could actually be quite valuable to me. So thank you for that. And here's what I wrote, sort of my recap of Rachel's drawing. I wrote grounding, how we're going to access our moment, our now, which is where all of the power is. And when we do that, we'll be less susceptible to the opinions of others. So for me, there was like this like superhero strength that sort of comes from grounding, the safety that comes from grounding. I wrote to ground every morning. Alignment, I wrote go with the flow. It's a winding road to where you want to be. And when I think about that winding road and being in alignment, I think about appreciating the journey. And certainty comes up for me in that. Like I can be relaxed and aligned and appreciate the journey because I already know that the road that I'm on is taking me where I want to go, even with all the twists and turns. I think that like that feels really, really good. And then radical acceptance, you said was going to be our biggest hurdle. And so that I was like, okay, that's the work, because that like radical acceptance sounds amazing. Just love yourself, girl. And so the fact that that's going to be my biggest hurdle this year is just a reminder like of that certainty, right? Here it is. This is the path. Radical acceptance is the hurdle and the path. It is like, it's on the path and it's fine. It's my work and there's a massive payoff. And the massive payoff, yes, 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 a deep alignment, deep satisfaction, deep love, and structure. I'm glad that you talked about feeling safe and that there's safety and structure. Because as much as I feel like I don't want other people telling me what to do or putting structures on me, man, do I love it. I love the safety that comes from knowing what to expect. So thanks.
You're very welcome. Yeah, and when people are new to living intuitively, I think they often assume there's no structure whatsoever in it. It's just all willy-nilly. And that I know that that's not true. I'm actually a very structured person. I love systems. I love spreadsheets. I love knowing, I don't know, we'll get, whatever. I was going to say I love planning things. I actually hate planning things, but I do have all my workouts planned for the next month. But
well, Rachel, before you move on from, were you moving on from structure?
No, I was just going to say that if you're new to this, you're not going to feel very structured this year. I think that's what the drawing is showing anyway. Like I think you're going to feel, I think regardless of who you are, you're going to feel a little bit more all over the place. That's what the drawing said anyway, at least for the beginning half of the year. And that's okay. So just know that going in. It doesn't mean that it will stay that way. It doesn't mean that intuitive living lacks structure. It's like a dog shaking off the rain. Like we got to get the junk out, and we're only going to be able to really do that effectively if we're all path of least resistance most of the time, because we're never all of the time. But trust your higher self and trust the process, because it's really, really, really going to pay off.
Well, and that was where I was going with structure, is like when you're new to living intuitively, or you're listening to Rachel saying, just ask yourself, what do I want to do right now? What do I want to do right now? What do I want to do right now? there's like this, at least in me, there was this ingrained thing. I can't trust myself to just do whatever I want to do right now, because then I would just be doing nothing, or like, and really, like, structure will emerge from that. Like, you can trust it. Radical self-acceptance. You can trust yourself. You can trust that you're actually going to feel like you want to do things that are leading you to where you want to go. To Rachel, what's most important to you, right? But maybe because, at least here in the United States, right, there were some structures that were really forced on us that maybe didn't feel good. And we were maybe told, like, if you don't do this, then that'll never happen. We're a little afraid to trust ourselves. So I like that that's what this year's about. And the hurdle is like embracing, I don't know, for me, it feels like melting into that self-trust, that certainty.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can, do your best. I love that S. Kidwell says, this is the second message that I've gotten about radical acceptance today. Yeah. I mean, I'm just feeling into what is present, right? And a lot of people can do that. So I feel like we're all probably saying similar things if we're checking in. And also you might have your own word for it, right? Like, that's my word, because it just kind of popped up, I think, mid-year last year, of like, oh, that's what I really need. That's exactly what I need. But if you have your own word for it, use that again. This is about trusting yourself and feeling into you. What do I need right now? What do I need to cuddle up in bed and just sleep a lot for these first few months? Like, that's okay. Do I need to start getting up really early and going for walks? Like, feel yourself out. And again, that's part of your winding path, which is going to lead you to great things.
So I kind of want to talk about the energy of 2023. Like, I know you're talking about it in regard to the drawing, but 2022, okay, like, everyone was talking about how 2020 sucked and how 2021 was going to be better. And then, like, 2021 sucked. And, like, I didn't actually think that 2020 or 2021 sucked. Like, I thought they were pretty awesome. But 2022, I remember, like, the powers that be, or like, not powers that be, like, people who read the year, astrologers, like, I don't know, people, influences in my life kind of like gave me a little bit of a warning about 2022. Like, this is going to be a year of work, or a year of like rebuilding. I don't even remember what they said it was, but I was like, no, I don't want to hear that. That's not what I want 2022 to be. But it kind of was all that. And 2023 for me feels like the shaking off, feels like the dog shaking off the water. It feels like why am I carrying these heavy bags? Like, I just put them down. This is so much better. And so there is it may be intuitive winding path. It may be radical acceptance. Like, it's probably all of those things, but 2022 for me has an openness to it, a relaxed, I'm going to yawn even talking about. Oh, Jana's word simplicity, I think, is perfect for like certainty. Like, there's just the 2023 already feels, I don't know, just like I put down the bags. So, for what that's worth, it has the feeling of the winding path for me already. The winding aligned path, I have, at least for me, I have a ton of options in front of me right now. And there's ironic, I know what happens when you choose the word certainty. You get a lot of uncertainty. You get reasons to choose certainty. But yeah, 2023 already has an it's going to be okay kind of feeling to it.
Yeah. And like I said, my new year kind of started last week, and for actually it's been getting progressively clearer for actually the last month and a half that it's not my job to make a decision. I am incapable of making a decision. That's not my, I can't do it as much as I'd like to. You know, I have a lot going on as well. I've got multiple companies, all kinds of projects, people that work for me. Um, and I don't know what anything is going to look like next week, next month, in a year from now. I have no idea whatsoever. Last year I thought I knew, but that became very apparent that I have no clue. My only job is to show up and see how I feel. That's it. Actually, it's really, really interesting. I don't have these conversations with my partner. We kind of speak different languages about this stuff. Um, but he told me the other day, he's like, your job is to be happy. And he's absolutely right. Like, that's all I'm actually capable of doing right now is just, okay, what's going to make me feel great today or good, or, you know, wherever I'm starting from, the next level up. Um, and I think that's really important to know about this as well. It's like your vibration does the work, your vibration makes the decisions. And that's why it's sometimes so hard to break out of such a negative cycle, is because your vibration is making the decisions. You know, if you've ever been in a cycle of dating the wrong person, well, you keep picking them because your vibration is picking them because you're in that vibration. So, radical acceptance is going to elevate you in your vibration and allow in better things. And I'm so excited to not be making any decisions. It's honestly really, really fun because I know it doesn't matter what I do, if I'm feeling good, great decisions are going to be made. And they always do. And don't forget about the gap. You know, maybe it's a couple months of you doing this work really diligently and accepting yourself and having a good time and finding clarity and love and laughing and doing what you want. And then you don't look around too soon because it might take some time. And let me tell you, I remember when I made that video of meditating for 8 hours in one day, I was like, you know, I feel pretty much the same, but I have a feeling this is going to have like some kind of long-term effect. And of course, it's that and all of the little decisions I make each day to align. But those things are rolling in and it is really, really, really fun. So keep at it, right? Be the snowball that starts really small and starts really slow, but keeps getting bigger because those are your results that are going to come and be very apparent. It will not stay hidden for long.
I love that. Be the snowball. Oh, you got me yawning all day. We do have a comment from Simon. I feel like S is Simon Kidwell for some reason. I have no idea if that's true. Sorry, S. I would love to hear examples of intentional grounding. The visual meditation of the red cord never worked for me. Setting aside time to just sit in love with myself sounds similar. Similar to the red cord? Is that? I'll tell you what I like, what works for me. So Rachel talked about the roots. So that works really well for me. If I'm standing, I know this is not the time of year for everyone to go outside and put your feet in the grass. But there's something for me that is super helpful. And I do just like to go outside. Sometimes even at night, I like will look up in my backyard and feel my feet on the ground and like just feel that moment. If you can visualize growing roots out of the bottom of your feet, that can be really helpful too. And I like to think about those roots my imaginary roots that I'm growing, releasing, right? Like releasing all the crap into the earth so that it can take it and turn it into something good and amazing. But if I'm just sitting on my couch and grounding, right? If I'm not like having this great, amazing moment with nature where I can sit, you can stand in your kitchen and grow roots, right? You can stand in your kitchen and just take a conscious breath. Feel the bottom of your body sort of become strong like a tree trunk, and feel roots growing out of the bottom of your feet. And just doing that, like even just imagining it right now, I get a sensation of feeling grounded, of feeling connected, of feeling very solid and safe from my waist down, and feeling kind of open and free and expansive from my waist up. But if I'm on my couch, this is going to sound cheesy, but my son is going to go watch the new Avatar movie. And I envision myself being one of those creatures. I don't remember what they're called or anything, but they go to the great tree and they literally plug their tails into the ground. And so I do that. I plug my imaginary tail into the ground. I see myself sitting in front of that tree, and the same thing happens. So I don't know, Rachel, if you've got, I'm sure you're going to send us to Jim Self because he has all the tools. But do you have anything that works for you?
Well, first, I just want to say I cannot visualize. So I totally get visualizations not doing anything. Because when I would try, I mean, I just realized last year that there's an actual like medical term for not being able to visualize. I just kind of figured like that's what everyone was experiencing. I had no idea if people saw pictures in their head for real. But so I was always kind of distracted by the fact that I couldn't see anything. And so therefore nothing was really happening. But okay, so that being said, you don't need to be able to visualize in order to ground. And you also, if you're not super sensitive to your body, you might not feel anything. Doesn't mean that nothing's happening. It's really your intention that gets the process going. It's your intention to be grounded. It's your intention to be embodied. But with that being said, yes, Jim Self has the best tools I've ever found for helping people be present, get grounded, have their own sacred geometry activated. Like he's just really great. And he is at masteringalchemy.com. He's got tons of free tools on his website and on YouTube. So just give a search if you want. But in a nutshell, you can just do the real old fashioned thing that he does too. Picture a cord. You know, I don't have one right, but you know what a cord looks like. Attach it to your tailbone with intention. Okay, I have a cord. It's attached to my tailbone. The other side of it, I'm going to stick into the center of the earth. And then Jim goes the extra step and he goes back to the tailbone and he flips the switch on. Flip the switch on, right? So that's your electro part of your grounding cord. Now he also has the magnetic part because we're electromagnetic. So now picture a spiral phone cord from the days of old. I don't know how old you are if you've ever seen one, but we used to have ones that look like a little pigtail, a little curl. And you can put that on your tailbone as well. Put the other side of that into the center of the earth. Go back to your tailbone and flip that on. And so now your extra electricity is siphoned off, your extra magnetism is siphoned off. And what that does, it helps drain anything that's not you. And it connects you to where we're choosing to be right now. Our point of focus is here on Earth. And so if we can connect to the Earth, we're going to have a much easier time here. That's all we're doing. It's nothing like, you know, it's not even like woo-woo. Like, right? We're big energetic. I mean, I guess everything I say probably is, but we're big energetic beings who choose to focus ourselves here. Like this part of us is our pinky nail. So small. But if anything can help us maintain our point of focus here, that's helping our whole system to work better. So that's why I find it to be helpful. And then the other thing that you can do is to be in the center of your head and be present. So again, Jim Self, great for teaching this. Any way you can find the center of your head and put yourself there. So he does it a couple ways where you can just feel like you're moving your eyes back to the center of your head. When I get there, I yawn. That's how I know I've actually done it. So if you close your eyes and you imagine moving moving your eyeballs back a couple inches and then into the center. So one dot. Move your eyeballs together a couple inches back. And when you actually feel it there, you know, it's like a little tiny click. You might maybe you'll yawn, maybe you'll smile, whatever. And then you open your eyes, you're here. You are here, unified. He also has a way of like imagining a dot coming down into the center of your head, and then you move your eyes back to the dot. So check him out, look him up. We use his tools all the time and promote them because they're so simple and easy. He's a fabulous teacher. And we do a lot of this reminding people to do this in our coaching group. Carrie and I run the Aligned Income Coaching Group to help you accomplish everything we talked about today and more, and give you a community and a couple of coaches. So if you want to check it out, I'm going to continue our code for this live stream. Yeah, go to intuitiveart.com/membership and then use code ALIGNED to get 60% off. It's just check out the page. It's absolutely a huge resource, and will help you get to that real gravy spot at the end of this year. So, oh, and hello, Shannon.
Not Simon, Shannon.
Nice to meet you. So hopefully that helps. And I like knowing why I'm doing something too. So hopefully that, description will help you.
I had a question about that. So let's assume that Shannon well, here's my question. Doesn't matter. Shannon, I hope that was helpful, whether it's Shannon or not. What about all of the things that are sold that are grounding tools? So like, I know there's like beds that you can lie on, or I think there's even grounding mattresses. I know there's grounding mats. Like, my assumption is that being on that shifts our electromagnetic field. But is that about what the thing does? Is it about the intention? Is it about all of it? I'm just curious.
Okay. I'm glad you asked, because I run into people all the time who are investing in things like that. Not just grounding, but crystals and like tinctures that have been charged and all this stuff. Let me just tell you, there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. It can be a luxury that you want to have in your life. It can be beautification. It can be, you can just like it, right? But it's not doing more than you can do yourself, because there is no assertion on this planet. Nothing can change you without your permission, which means you're actually doing the change. Nothing is changing you that you are not doing yourself. Let me just make that really clear. So if you don't have the money for a grounding cord or a crystal that's been charged by some super cool person, you don't need it. Don't buy it. If it's right. I could go on and on, but most people don't understand that, and that's okay. But you are the creator. No one, no thing can replace that. If something is changing you, you are doing the changing.
And I'm just going to say, and if you have the money for it, like, how amazing to get into that thing. And I don't know, like if I don't know, are there mats that you put on your bed? I feel like how amazing to think, to set the intention every time I get into bed, I'm grounding, right?
Right, but you don't need the thing to have that intention.
Sure. But if you have the thing, it reminds you, right? Just
maybe, or maybe you just buy it and forget that it's there and it doesn't.
Well, that's the danger, right? Like, I was thinking about your little pyramid thing that you have, right? Like our totems, and crystals are amazing for that too, right? I think, like, I don't know much about crystals, but I know that like some are known to help with this and others are known to help with that. And I think how amazing to hold on to that thing and hold the intention of it. Right.
Yeah.
The reminder of it.
I mean, it is funny though, because like that's kind of how we are as people. Like, Carrie, you remember my little pyramid crystal, but that's long gone. I haven't had that on my desk in a really long time, several moves ago. So, I just want you to know that it's all you. You are this incredible, motherfucking gantic energetic being. You are a source being. There's nothing that you need. Nothing that you need. But of course, like Gina Marie said, if you have the money and it's fun, go for it. But I just want you to know you're always doing it. You are always doing it. Yeah. I bought one of those grounding mats a very long time ago when I lived in Connecticut. And I was following David Avocado Wolf at the time, and I was eating 10,000 bananas a day and like still figuring out my health journey. And I mean, it was just a piece of cloth. I didn't feel any different. And I think the interesting thing is we think we need the thing to feel differently. But when we feel differently, the thing that we actually want comes. So you don't get what you want by buying things. You get what you want by changing how you feel. No one can change how you feel except for you. Right? So anyway, I mean, I just, save your money and spend it on things that will actually improve your life, not things you think you should have or you should need.
Don't get me started on the shoulds, Rachel.
I mean, to be honest, okay, let's go here. Yesterday, I had my first facial that I've ever had in my life. And I've wanted one forever, but I was always afraid that it would be painful because I don't know why. But you guys, it was amazing. And I didn't know it included all these different massages and like scalp rubs and whoa, holy cow. I had a massage right beforehand and I totally could have skipped the massage. I mean, it was just, absolutely astonishingly amazing. So spend your money on something that you have been wanting to do for a long time and let your body and your own intention take care of all of that stuff.
Amen. And as we're talking all this, I was having a conversation with somebody, I don't know, and they were like, the placebo effect is real. And I was like, yeah, for both situations. If you believe it'll work or if you believe it won't, like, it's all real. We're doing it.
Yeah, that just proves that it's our mind that makes things happen and not the actual thing. That means you can do it without the thing.
Okay.
But again, do you, right? I love paintings. I love plants. I have a bowl of crystals over there. It's not against the thing. It's just spend your money how you really want to spend it, not on your shits.
Well, so let's bring us back to the beginning and about 2023. I'm yawning already. Closing words, things we want our people to know.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. You are amazing. And the beginning of this year is primed for you discovering just how freaking amazing you are because there's less distraction. You're following your winding path. You're going to surprise yourself. People are going to surprise you. You're going to pick up all these wonderful, delightful things along the way. And your job, like my partner just told me, I'm telling you, is to be happy. What makes you happy? What do you want to do? Let that surprise you. I never knew this would make me happy, but holy cow, this is great. So focus on yourself. Focus on doing what you are inspired to do and also loving yourself through any triggers that come up.
You have me yawning the entire time today, Rachel. So
great. Well, my job is done.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks everybody there's lots of inspiration in the chat today.
Yeah, thank you all for commenting so much. We love it. I'm so glad the suggestions were helpful, um, especially the flipping on the switch part. Yeah, look up Jim Self. He's amazing. And we wish you all the best year ever. So have fun, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.